Hello everybody, I'm Jim and welcome to Fifield Farm. We're here today with this 1953 Dodge truck. I promised that we were going to get this out to you to show the start, and then of course we got to do the brakes on it. So let's get at it. First thing we're going to do is make sure the head's clean around the spark plugs. We're going to pull the spark plugs out. Like I said, it's been 19 years since it's run. I did drive it into the shop, so it was running when I brought it home. I want to put some Marvel Mystery Oil down inside the cylinders, let it soak a little bit. And also, you can see the carburetor kit over there on top of the air cleaner. I do know that it has a bad accelerator pump. Of course, 19 years later, who knows what else is wrong, but I'm just going to throw a kit in the carburetor before we even try to start it. And then also there's the issue with the gas tank, the fuel filter. Is the fuel pump gonna work? I'm gonna see if I can drain some of the fluid out. If I pressurize the gas tank, maybe I can push some of the old gas out, put some fresh gas in it. And then we have another issue. You can see there, gonna have to clean that up, get a new battery put in here. Unfortunately, when I drove it into the shop, the brakes were going on it, and I kind of figured that might as well do a complete brake job. The wheel cylinders all started leaking while it was sitting here, so I'm going to order a kit that has all new rubber, new wheel cylinders, new master cylinder, completely redo them. If I can get away with keeping the steel lines, we'll flush them out a little bit, and that's our goal anyway. So we'll see how it works out. See if we got any oil in this machine. Oh yeah, a little bit above full. Okay. Nice green antifreeze. And I'm getting a little bit of corrosion here on the radiator. I'm sure once it gets running, we could have an issue with that. But we'll deal with that when we cross it. Get some creeping oil around these. Okay, we'll let that set a minute. Get these old dried out spark plug boots off. Boy, that car oil keeps great. Looks like she was running rich, which definitely would make sense because with that accelerator pump not working, I'd have to run at half choke just to get it to take off. So it makes sense. I just want to cover the top of the pistons. I haven't even tried to spin it over. I didn't want to move it till I got something down there. We'll let that soak a few minutes. So before I start cranking this over, I don't want any of this old fuel to get pumped up, if it even is going to pump up. I don't want it going into the carb. So I'm going to attempt to take this fuel line off. So if it does pump, it'll just pump it on the ground. Maybe. Yep. Was able to get it loose. Okay. Yep. She's turning over. That's a good sign. I didn't have to pull very hard. Okay. All right. We'll get into the battery now and that replaced. I'll spin it over without the plugs. If I have too much mystery oil in there, it'll blow out a little bit. We'll put the plugs back in and work on the fuel system after that. Okay. See if we can get this thing disconnected here. We have some movement. There we go. Now, is the cable in very good shape? No. Is it going to get by with what we need to do? Yeah. Now I got to see if we can get this mount off here. Okay, it's spinning on the bottom, which might have to, I don't know, not really a way to put a, might have to get underneath of it to see if there's a head on the bolt that goes all the way through. Not too much room to get a pair of vice grips on this side. This side I could. This side, of course, come loose. My arm's probably in the way. Yeah. Yeah, that side come loose. Shucks. Oh, now this one started spinning. I think maybe that might be a square head. Yeah, if I pull up on the bolt into the square mounting hole, it's keeping it from spinning, so. There, it just fell right out on the ground. Looky there. Alrighty. Now I'm not sure if I can hold enough pressure on this back one. No, I think I'm spinning the whole thing. But I might have enough room to. Nope. Somehow I gotta hold that. Not quite sure how I'm gonna do that. Yeah, giant carriage bolt. There's the square. And probably the front mounting hole has got enough rust on it to where rust and corrosion, really. And there's that. There we go. Now the fun part of getting the battery out. Alright. What a mess, huh? Here's what we got in here. I'll get that all cleaned up. Try to clean up these cables. Put a little bit of tape on here. The insulation's cracking off as we're talking here. We'll get it back together. Siphoning the old gas out. Actually does not smell that bad. Doesn't smell varnished at all for being in there for 19 years. I'm pretty impressed, actually. So we got about 8 to 10 gallons of gasoline out of this rig. I added about 4 more fresh gallons, and the paint dried on the battery compartment, so I temporarily set the battery in here. Let's see what happens if we have any smoke. Don't see any smoke. That works. How about this? I'll be. Okay, so we're going to preload the fuel pump. We're gonna dump some fresh gas backwards into here. Hopefully that will soften up the diaphragm on the fuel pump. Then we're gonna put this hose on here, and we're gonna spin it over with the plugs out and see if we can pump some fresh gas up through here before we connect it back to the filter. And then we got to take the carburetor apart. I got to get this new accelerator pump in here. That's all I know that's wrong with the carburetor is the accelerator pump. So I'm thinking maybe just pulling the top part of the carb off, throwing the new pump in, and giving it a whirl. See what we got. I'll bring you guys in here closer. You're going to be my eyes when I crank it over. Tell me if you can see anything coming out. Oh, one other thing we could have done too while we were turning it over. Could have seen if we had any spark. Gotta have fire. So you think there's just 3 screws on top of this carburetor? Oh, no, I see another one. 4 screws. Will we be able to save the gasket? I don't know. Too funny. I tried to put an O-ring on there. 19 years ago. All right, let's get the right cup seal on here and put it back and see if that float bowl fills up with fuel. Got the new accelerator pump. Slip that bad boy in here. Okay, I still have the top of the carburetor off. I'm going to crank it over now. I hook the fuel line back up, and we'll see if the float bowl fills up. And then I'm also going to check for spark. I'm going to put you guys on the spark plug. Not seeing any spark. But we are getting gas and float ball. So that's a good sign. Okay. Put the top back on. I'm sure we're going to have to pull the points out and give them a little massage. Get this cap back on. The carburetor. Well, I got them plugs all wire brush. Check the gap, they're all at about 30 thousandths. And pull the distributor cap off here. We're gonna sand the points a little bit. Rotor don't look bad at all. I turn the key on. If these points are closed, when I open them, I should see a little bit of an arc. Yep, certainly do. I don't know if you saw that or not. And if you can't see it, you can hear it. Okay. Shut the key off. Rotor back on. I don't see no most chewed wires. They're getting a little dried out. Down here they are. Up here they look good though. So put the plugs back in. So we should have gas, spark, and rotation. Now whether or not we have enough compression, that's a different story. So let's see what we can do here. I was leaving this light here. And we will see if she fires up. Well, I think that's it for the battery, folks. But she did fire. What I'm smelling is the Marvel Mystery Oil is what I'm smelling. This was an unknown good battery. It still says she's got 6 volts, but probably don't when she cranks. Probably just don't have enough fuel in there. Battery, the Marvel Mystery Oil fouled the plugs out. I guess that could be. See, I got choke. I got a manual throttle here, which is interesting. Nope. Just don't have enough juice. Alright, so this battery's got to go. Clutch in. Key on. Chokes out. Let's see here. Nope. Key off. What you think, huh? The old girl fired right up there for a second. Oh, I even dumped gas down there. It's either flooded. It's like we lost ignition because I'm not even getting a sputter. Okay, it's got spark. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. She might be floated. Accelerator pump is working awesome. We might have the old mouse nest in the exhaust problem. Look what I see all over the floor here. Yeah. There's the tailpipe. I wonder. It might be the problem. Maybe that's why she just fired once and now she's backed up. All right, we'll have to get into that. Well, I thought for sure we were plugged, but we are not plugged at all on the exhaust. Although we did get all that blown out of there. But anyway, when the tailpipe came off with the exhaust pipe, all this came out. So I kind of think between the Marvel Mystery Oil that I had it flooded. So we'll look around underneath here. I noticed the shift linkage really stiff, so I'm going to put some lube on the shift linkage. Grease it up maybe. And interesting underneath here. And I'm also thinking, well, I got it on a lift, I might as well drop the oil out of it. Grease the U-joints. Check the differential oil. And yeah, the back brakes they rolled, but they didn't want to roll. This one I can barely turn. So, front one too. Got a little drag to it. So, definitely gonna have to work on the brakes after this. Didn't realize that there was a drain plug on the gas tank. I could have just drained it this way when I got most of it out. But I think we're all right on that. I think we'll be all right. Definitely got some leakage here on the tranny. The band brake has got a nice coating of oil on it. So anyway, we'll put the exhaust back on. Wasn't too bad. Only had one hanger here and a clamp up here. So if anybody's wondering what this is called a road draft tube. It's angled like this so that as you are driving down the road, the air comes across here and actually blows out, helps suck out the crankcase fumes. Road draft tube. Of course, they banned those because the environmental issues with them. Alrighty. Well, I got the differential checked. It was about a pint low. I mean, I could still feel it with my pinky, but I went and added a little. Same with the transmission. I lubricated all the linkage underneath there for the shifter. I lubricated the, this has got a throttle to hold the throttle open part way because it's kind of hard to hit the gas pedal and the start button at the same time with the same foot. I just took the spark plugs all out and they were pretty wet. I think we had it fouled out with the Marvel Mystery Oil. And then now that the accelerator pump works so good, squirting a lot of gas down in there. So I greased up the chassis, leaf springs, the front end, everything I could grease while I was underneath there. I did not change the oil. I want to get it warmed up and then we'll change the oil then. So let's give this another try. Let's see what happens. Well, doesn't make much sense. I almost was running on all 6 cylinders, at least 5. I'm thinking, is it a stuck valve? I've been using ether. It doesn't even fire on ether. That's why I'm kind of thinking stuck valve. Geez, usually you watch these guys just run the thing on ether straight without even a carburetor on it. You spray ether in the intake and the thing runs. So I'm thinking maybe a stuck valve, because and like it's not cranking over good. She's cranking over really good. I've already switched batteries twice now just to keep up the battery, but pull the plugs out one more time. I guess I'm going to do a compression test on each cylinder, and that'll verify whether or not I got a stuck valve or just low compression. I'm sure the rings could be stuck in the piston grooves till they warm up and pop out. So we'll give that a whirl. We'll probably do it another day. So see you in a few. Well, we're back today. I did a compression check, and here's what I got. No stuck valves. A little low, but you know, for not running in 19 years, time we reseat them rings, break them loose, I think we're good. So, got the plugs back in, and I'm thinking water. It's got to be water in the bottom of that tank. Even though I siphoned most of it out, put fresh in, I still think there must have been quite a bit of water in there. So we're going to do this temporarily and see if we can get it fired up. Unfortunately, I had to shut it off. Show you why. I had that bottle over here from the fuel pump. Figured I would try to suck some of that water out while it was running. So I believe it was the gasoline. So let me get this bottle out of here. And see, look how orange it looks. Kind of looks like the gas I siphoned out. So, may have to dilute it, right? Dilute it with more gas and dump some alcohol in it, maybe to mix up the water. Not sure, but she is a runner. Well, we got that jug of gas out here and the line taken off, and I've got the truck fuel line connected back up to the carburetor. Got the air cleaner oil changed, and we're going to give it a shot. See if she'll run on the tank gas. There's the oil pressure running right around 40, maybe a little less than 40 at idle. Got her warmed up now. I added another 5 gallons of gas. and it smoothed right out. It was blowing so much smoke. I'm not sure if one of the rings weren't seated or something, but he's running so much better now. Hardly any smoke now. Well, there you have it, folks. I think I'm going to end this video here. We'll get back into the oil change, and of course we got the brakes to do. So 19 years sitting here in my shop. It's been a while. Finally the old girl's running again. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you nothing. I appreciate it. We'll try to get some more videos out to you. Thanks for watching.